I'm not muted. I'm just being quiet because we're getting all psyched up for Sunday Monday. We're gonna get it started. Oh my goodness, I could just feel the energy. As we get started today, we're gonna take a little walk to the front part of our mats. We're gonna bring our feet about hip width apart. We're gonna bring our arms and start to raise and lower them front to back. As we do so, I'd like you to make tension free all of the muscle chains along the spinal column, making sure we're not compressing through the neck. Remember, we're just warming up, having a little bit of fun. Now, let's do a little bit of toe lifts or heel lifts, I'm sorry. I mean, up onto the toes as we move the arms forward and back with a little higher frequency and enjoy a little bit of blood flow going on, hopefully awakening that mind and that body of yours. Let's calm everything. Let's bring the elbows to the back as we open the palms with fingers spread widely. Let's grow the spinal column and draw backward the elbows and then serve out and pull back in. We do that for a few repetitions. We're really kind of focusing on upper body warming right now. We're going to hold out, sweep out those arms, salute the sun, fold down, and we're going to do a series of extensions and flexions of the spinal column. As you inhale, extend, and as you exhale, flex it down. And then Pilates style, stack them as you come all the way up. Salute the sun, bring hands down over heart, take the left foot, step it back, then step it forward, switching side. As we alternate, make sure you're driving the heel of that foot that extends backwards to the earth as close as it goes. And as we do this now, we're going to add a little bit of progression, which is basically the arms. So reaching high as we step back. And extending all the way back. Just find your coordination with this. I'm just alternating with stepping and raising and then coming all the way to salute the sun. Big inhale, powerful exhale, pull it down. Step back to your plank, lower the knees to the earth, draw the hips backwards, flex the spine, float the upper body forward. Excuse me. When you arrive in the forward position, allow your torso to descend in between the arms, flex the spine as you let your head lower, and draw back your hips. Keep the spine flexed as you float forward. Keep it flexed as you float backwards. And enjoy this when we finally come to the front position. Let the chest drop in between the arms. Spiral those elbows inwardly. Step the knees back so they're a little farther back than the hips. And come on to the tops of your feet. As you open the knees now, draw the hips backwards. Keep those arms opening, pulling forward, and enjoy a little bit of stretch for those lats, upper body, up and along the rib cage. As you inhale, raise that body, tuck the toes under, step hands under shoulders and knees under hips, and allow the center part of the upper back to pull to the sky as we come into cat. And reverse to cow. And do that for a few enjoyable repetitions. Finding a nice neutral spine. Float the knees, then pull the hips high to the sky. Draw back, booty, pull it to the sky. Drive your heels to the earth and walk, reverse plank. Going to walk it back to the feet. As we find ourselves inverted, let's remain in that spot and explore a little bit of depth of this. As your upper body sinks to the earth, put hands over elbows and kind of float backward and forward. And as you experience that float, try to find an equilibrium of weight bearing and the feet. And once you find it, take your palms to your thighs. As you inhale, extend the flat back to tabletop.
Holding on tabletop now. Take your arms and extend them outwards. Palms are facing the earth. We're going to rotate the thumbs to the sky. And while we keep this external rotation in our arms, I'd like you to bring a little bit of weight, pronouncing more to the heel of the foot as we allow the arms to sweep down and baby fingers to touch and arms to sweep upwards. And then add a little bit of frequency to this, a little faster. Doesn't have to be like a bird about to take off, but just give me a little more speed between the down and up. Keeping nice and long through the upper body and the neck, holding out, raising that upper body, saluting the sun, bringing hands down over hearts. Saying that's pretty good for the warm-up. Let's take the right foot, step it forward. Nice. Now in this space, I'd like you to have left leg long and right leg long. Ball of big toe planting as we chop the right hip. I'd like you to fold forward. Hold on this. And then slowly raise the upper body. Up to vertical. Everything leg-wise remaining the same. Simply just chopping through the hip. As we work our gluteal and lateral stabilizers, trying to keep our balance, because this is kind of a balance movement, as best we can, by raising and lowering without winking. We all know what that is, right? And I'm not talking about our eyes, I'm talking about our spinal column, laying it flex or extend. I'd like you to try to maintain stability through the whole spinal column, emphasizing the load, the work, more so in the gluteal. Now, on the down, see how low you can go without winking on the next few repetitions. If you feel any burning whatsoever going on, consider that a good thing. On the next repetition down, hold down, bring your hands onto the thigh, extend the spinal column. Now, if you can, start walking your hands down the leg to the floor, holding long the spinal column, keeping that neck compression free. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, release everything and fold down onto that front leg. Inhale, extend to the flat back. Step the left foot forward, Pilates style. Stack them as you raise up and salute the sun. Hold long the arms. Imagine the fingers pulling everything to the sky. And as you exhale, let's bring hands over hearts. Step the right foot back. Same setup, opposite side. Find that nice stable width and enough distance where you can maintain straightness through both legs. Ball of the left toe now pushing in as we begin the exercise on this side. Spine remains long, neck long. There's no particular race for this. It's just an up and down as you now explore some of the downward range that you can exhibit while you keep spine neutral, while you keep balance. You raise up this time, take the right foot, step it forward. Salute the sun, big inhale, exhale and fold. Step it back to plank. Hover high is where we are. Now, before we hover low and come back to hover high, you have an option, knees or not. Hover low and push back up. Pull the hips up and back to down dog. Load it back forward, knees optional, hover low, hover high, hips up and back down dog. And let's do this for a few more repetitions. So you know how to get to down dog. If your knees were down, right? You simply elevate them when you come back to the plank position. And then pull your hips up and back to down dog. Holding the down dog position, drive the heels into the earth. Take the left leg, sweep it to the sky. Switch it for the right leg. And walk this out for a few repetitions. Bringing both feet to the earth. Bend both knees and lower down onto the mat. Draw the hips backwards. Float the body forward. Take the knees up off the earth and draw the hips backwards. Take the left leg, sweep it skyward. Switch it for the right. When the foot arrives on the earth, when both feet are down, knee floats down. Float forward. Push the hips to the earth. As we work this progression, try to keep up. Knees float up, heels drive earth, left leg sky, switch it for the right. Both feet down, knees arrive on the earth, body floats forward, hips descend to the earth. Hips pull back, knees arise, as do our hips. Left leg and right leg. Floating back, knees earth, hips push forward and down. And then finally, pull back to child's pose. Come back up onto all fours as we reposition knees under hips and hands under shoulders. Let the head drop. Take the center of the spine, pull it to the sky. Hollow out your belly. Let the head drift earthward before we reverse this by taking the tailbone and back the head skyward. Widen out the stance of your hands a little wider than shoulder width apart. Take your elbows and turn them inwardly. Let the chest drop in between the arms. Tailbone and back of head. Pull to the sky as the belly hollows out. Reverse this into a nice cat-like position. With toes tucked, float the knees. Reverse walk your plank. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Stack them as you raise up the body and salute the sun. Take a drop of the hands over heart. Take the left foot forward this time. Take the right foot, anchor it. The angle of the foot on the back, conducive for your body's rotation of the hips, allowing that position of the foot to change to make the hip turn forward and to be square to the front of the mat with hands over heart, because we love heart, don't we? Excuse me. Now, front foot and knee and hip. I like you to have a nice alignment through the knee, through the toes, and a little bend in that front leg as we work to rotate that right hip forward with hands over hearts, hollowing through the belly, pulling up and in to feel a nice release over that right hip. As we work that release, it's a rotational effort, pushing that right hip forward, keeping that nice rotation, nice long spinal column and neck. You're going to take the hands and push them to the sky. Keep the arms in your peripheral view. Cup the fingers like you're grabbing a grapefruit. Pull the grapefruits to the sky. Rotate that right hip a little more. And then come back with hands over heart. Come up on the toes of that back foot. Push forward. Take that left leg. Step it back. Angle the foot appropriately for you to allow that nice rotation of the left hip forward. And as we work this rotation, we keep that little bend, micro bend, greater if you need it in that left hip, right knee. And as we take the left hip, we begin to rotate it through. We engage, pull, almost like a cannonball firing into the belly, keeping that muscle, that big six-pack muscle of yours engaged as we create that extra rotational effort. It's all through the torso, turning as best you can, holding on this. Now take the arms, push them to the sky, cup and pull high. Rotate it ever so slightly more if you can achieve it. holding on this for one more breath. And it's release and bring hands over heart, up to the toes on that back foot to step it forward. Take a big breath in, push, shoot the arms to the sky, palms facing forward. Pull with the fingers, arms long, almost pulling them out of the socket of the shoulders, with your thumbs hanging to the sky, pull out off the midline. Now, rotate the thumbs backwards, pull the thumbs backwards, hold on this as we begin to draw the hips backwards and fold. We want to try to keep the arms pulling in the elevation of the palms themselves, or the hands in particular, same height as your shoulders. As we reduce the angle through the hips, we're tabletopping the back, and we're keeping those hands held high. We're isometrically working those shoulder muscles. You should feel a little burn. Now hold on that as you inhale now, raise up, salute the sun, and drop hands back over heart. Take the left foot, step it back, up onto the toes this time. Gonna hold on that toe, nice orientation. Now, we have a series of movements. We're gonna basically start a progression. The right knee slightly bent, left leg long, heel high up off the earth. As we now initiate a chop through that right hip, I'd like you to fold forward. And as you lean into this, I'd like you to find engagement in that tummy muscle, that six-pack muscle. Now we're going to add a little bit as we go through this. Now, we're going to raise to vertical. We're going to take the back knee, and we did this in yesterday's class. We're going to let the right knee bend, and the left knee bend as we lower the left knee towards the earth. And we're going to just tap, lift, come back to where we started, chop, fold. As we work this, remembering it's a progression, vertical, lower, raise, chop and fold. We're going to do one more rep, and then we're adding on. Lower, raise, chop and fold, arms extend. Sweep the arms to the sky, sweep them down and back, and do this for a couple repetitions. Bringing hands shoulder height, sending them over heart, vertical the body, lower, raise, chop and fold, arms extend, arms raised and sweep back. As we're sweeping, we're opening the palms and coming all the way back, closing the palms, raise forward, get out for a couple repetitions. As we lower, shoulder heights, hands come over hearts, lower, raise. I know it's burning in me too. Heel high, chop and fold. This is the last rep. Push them forward, reach, sweep, couple times. And when hands come back over heart, step the back foot forward. Shake on that right leg. Give it a little shake. There you go. Oh, feels good, right? Now, we're going to take the right foot and step in. Same setup, opposite side, high with the heel, chopping left hip, folding forward, raising back up, coming to vertical. We're going to do that a couple times before we add on. Bilateral symmetry. That's when both sides have an equal opportunity of developing to be equal in strength. Continuing to fold. Finding a little bit more in that position. Back up, holding up, beginning to descent. Knee, lowers, raises, chop and fold. And now we're on to the second part of this exercise. Enjoying that warmth, hopefully, that's building in that hip. Oh my goodness. You may notice one side performs differently than the other. So bilateral symmetry. We're trying to strengthen both sides to be equal, right? Best we can. Now, on this next rep, whoa, see, this is a balance exercise. We raise up, we chop and fold, we bring our arms in, up, sweeping back, sweeping up, sweeping back, sweeping up, hands over heart, vertical body, lower it, raise it, lean it in, extend them out, raise them and sweep them, and enjoy that warmth that hopefully is hit this side now. Hands over heart, lower, raise, chop in, raise and sweep. Almost done. Enjoy the journey. If you haven't gone on a different journey already, hands over heart, last rep, down, up, chop, lean in, raise and sweep. Get a couple reps in. Oh, hold on to it if you can. Up, hands over heart, back foot steps forward. Shake it out, shake it out. As you find that calmness come back to the body, step your feet out, wider than hip width with the heels, wider than hip width. Turn the toes or foot to angle as best you do with your knees as we begin to do a modified plie type squat. Lower, so it's kind of like between a sumo and a plie. Lower down and raise up. Now, your low back might have got a little bit of a challenge on those last exercises we did. And if you need to limit some of the range here, allow that to recover, please do so. If you can, engage the six pack ever so slightly more to allow the depth to increase. When we raise up, we're using the heels to push isometrically, creating a posterior orientation, although you're going to feel your quads still working. I'm going to try to bring some emphasis to some of the other muscles by simply activating through those heels, pushing high and lowering back down. Now, range downward, explore. Take a different perspective of how low you can go today. Pushing back up, couple more reps, and we're moving on. Now, when I say moving on, we have one more option here. We hold down, we hold, try to sink a little lower, try to sink a little lower, and then push back up. And bring the legs to face forward, to face forward. Relax the arms, pull the shoulders to the head, open the palms, pull the elbows back. Stepping the feet in now, a little wider than hip width apart. Now, make an effort. I'm going to turn sideways to pull the chin up and in, almost like you're making a double chin for yourself. While you keep that, pull backwards with the elbows, keep that chin pulling in, and slowly come into tabletop. Now, as you create the range of motion, I like you to keep the neck long and the chin pulling in. So we're not jutting forward with that. Chin pulls in, fold forward, elbows go to the sky, chin pulls in as we raise back up. Your body is going to want to revert to what it feels comfortable doing. I'd like you to fight that a little bit as we make these efforts to lower, elongate, and engage through the neck. Those muscles that help that neck be supported. Lowering down, raising up, hands come over hearts, fold forward. Let the fingertips do the walking. Now let them just arrive upon the floor. As you straighten the leg, inhale and extend to a flat back. Draw back the hips, walk the fingers forward. Big breath in, powerful exhale, fold.
Chill out. Inhale, extend. Both knees bent. Walk your feet out wider than hip width apart. Almost about shoulder width if you can. And squat down. Take the hands, walk them back in towards the feet. Keep the fingertips on the earth. Now, if you can, bring the palms to the earth. And if that's not possible, keep the fingertips. And if that's not possible, just keep forearms up on thighs. If you collapse inwardly, I'd like you to extend, lengthening that spinal column, keeping the neck pulling long. Now, whether you have palms, fingertips, or forearms on shins, I'd like you to take the right arm and reach it forward, open the palm to face the sky. Pull along the arm, hold. Take that back down to the earth. Take the left hand, extend it out. Pull long. Lower, switch. Couple more reps. Pull. Switch. Pull. Lower. Push the hips to the sky. Let the upper body pull down. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Pilates style. Bring it all the way up.
Salute the sun. Hands come over heart. And then relax everything. Shake it all out. Grab some water. We're going to meet down on the mat. Great work. That was a lot of effort today. Really enjoyed it. I know Lily was cheering me on. I know we probably felt that too. It was good stuff. Okay. As we arrive on the mat, we're going to bring heels to the corners. We're going to have a slight bend. So now's a chance to kind of get an idea of slight bend. It's just, if I took my heel and stepped it in about an inch, I have a slight bend in my knee. And I can see that. And I'm going to take that, I'm going to translate my feet right to just the width of the hips, right? And I can see that, and you can too. So that's our kind of start with this. Now, if I moved in, that distance is going to change a little bit. I might need to scooch back with a butt of mine just to make sure that same bend that I saw, that I still see, is right there. Did I overtalk that? Perhaps. Now, steep curve the spine, lower down. Let your heels slide out, but keep the same bend in the knees. Flatten out those shoulder blades. Now, hollow out your belly. See if you can kind of pull the lumbar spine long and try to rotate your pelvic girdle. And it's a try. It's not always possible, but it's a try. So you can feel a little touch or at least the activation of the lumbar or lower back getting long and the skin thereof on the back side, of course, of your body, almost touching the mat. As you hollow out the belly, take your arms, let them fall beside the body with fingers cupping that imaginary grapefruit that I often refer to. So the fingertips with cupped hands are touching the earth. We're going to take your chin and pull it into the neck. Now, if you pull in the chin and your shoulders pop up, I'd like you to get control over the shoulder blades. They're almost pasted to the mat as the chin pulls in, and without cocking the head laterally or sideways, I'd like you to simply rotate the head slowly so you can control this and check in with shoulders, also with the chin to make sure your head's not turning inwardly. You're just simply rotating on an axis through that neck. As far down as you can go, come back center, and slowly turn to the opposite side. Almost like you're pushing the back of the head ever so gently into your mats as you rotate side to side slowly. You might find, hopefully you do, that the rotation is a little greater with each subsequent repetition. So each rep making it a little more effective in terms of the length you're opening those neck muscles. On the next
center of head. You're gonna hold that. And we're gonna take our knees and turn them into touch or towards each other. Big toes, same thing. Most important now is to take the tops of your feet and pull them to the shins. Take the fingertips, push them into the earth. Sorry, you have a nice proud chest. You have an engagement of that six-pack muscle, almost like you're hollowing out and getting ready to protect yourself from a bowling ball being shot into your belly. Hold that strength. Squeeze the thighs. Pull the toes towards you. Hold on this. Squeeze the thighs a little more if you can. Give a little bit of extra. If you're trembling, that means the muscles are working. So you're looking for that tremble. And as much of it as you can give, the better off you will experience the results of this exercise. Squeeze, 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 and then relax everything. Keep the feet in the spot. Arms can relax. We're just going to use the heels as a hinge, let the legs splay open. Probably going, oh, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. This feels normal. Well, that normal is the cause of a lot of our low back issues. So now we're going to come back to strengthening those muscles of the medial muscles, those inner thigh muscles. As we fingertip establish the hands, we flatten the shoulder blades, we pull the toes to the shins, and we begin to squeeze the legs together. And as we squeeze together, I'd like you to now add a little element, which is basically a heel push into the mats, not forgoing anything else. In fact, if you can, push the heels and squeeze the thighs even more. I'm going to hold on this as we try to push heels. Keep the toes pulling into the shin. Keep the heels pushing, toes in, and thighs squeezing together. A lot of muscle going on. And then let it all relax. Extend the legs straight this time. Point the toes and sweep the hands backwards. Get the arms in the peripheral view of your eyes as you pull along the arms. Now bring the arms up over chest. Drop your chin into the chest. Aim your toes up to the sky and Pilates style. Keeping the spine flexed. Chin tucked in. Arms long. Lots of flexion in the spine. As we chop through the hips and fold in, you may feel the touch of your feet on the backs of the hands. See if you can get a little lower. As you inhale now, extend to a flat back.
Walk the hands backwards. We're in staff pose. We're going to bring the legs a little narrower today. You can get the ball or outside of the big toes. Touching, good stuff. Bring the heels out ever so slightly, just so you can kind of create a little V shape between the heels and the top of the toes. If you have gone into panda-like pose, I'd like you to grow that spinal column nice and long. I like to keep the touch of the toes as you bring the hands out. We're going to diagonally walk. So we're not coming straight up from the side. We're not going straight back. We have an angle between those 2 points. As we bring the hands out, we open through the chest. And we're going to take our shoulder blades. Now, this is a complicated thing, but I'd like you to try to imagine there's a muscle underneath pulling. As it pulls down, the shoulders open up. See if you can find that experience. See if you can. Just try it. If you get it, great. And if you're not, keep trying at it. That's the exterior rotation of the shoulders. Neck is nice and long. Chest is proud. Imagine there's a string tied to the sternum, chest plate. I'd like you to pull that forward. Let the fingertips drag, but try to walk them backwards as that sternum pulls forward and neck remains long. And then relax everything. You shake it all out. I'm going to come into my favorite for the day. It's always a good exercise. We're just going to do a single 90 degrees though. So we're going to do a 90 and a half 90 or 45. So the angle of that, I'm not bringing my left leg, sorry, forward at a 90-degree angle, kind of pocketed on the corner of that front part of our mat, with my right leg sitting off at a 45-degree angle. Now, how it sits relative to the earth is what we're going to work on right now. So if you have high elevation in the knee, I'd like you to just plant your hands Walk them out diagonally, keep the spinal column nice and long, and begin to rotate down and up the left knee. So it's simply creating external rotation and internal rotation on that left leg. And it's just repetition, up and down, speed. You know, don't have to go fast, but we want to maintain control, but at a speed that's relatively fast, so we get as many reps in as possible. And you might notice fatigue or disformation of your form. Disformation means there is fatigue because you're compensating for the movement, but keep going. More and more reps, more and more reps, more and more reps. And then calm it and switch up sides. Good work. So the 90 degrees, baby sister, 45. And then position the arms, walk them back, spinal column nice and long. I didn't mention last time, but your sit bones, if you're just heavy onto the right sit bone, try to correct that as best you can, getting both to the earth. You might notice that when both are down, the knee pops up a little more. Fine, whatever you need. Now, up and down, rep it out. Keep it going. Check in with your other elements of form, spinal column, neck, hands, shoulders, lots to think about as we just basically lower and raise. Now, again, range of motion. Coming in as far as you can, moving it down as far as you can. Key to finding progression on joint mobility. Why is that important? Just think about it. Few more reps. And then calm it. Bring both legs out, 45. Two baby sisters come into play. Any kind of muscles on those hips of yours that feel like they want to cramp, should be drinking a little more water, but if they do, just find a little relief by stepping in the feet or the legs a little more. And then hold on this, point and flex the toes. And then calm that, bring both legs together. As we bring that booty up towards the feet, I'm going to use my hands to guide the upper body down. And when I arrive there, I'm going to keep pull of the knees towards the chest, but now I'm going to cross my right leg over left. I'm going to try and keep the knees as close together so I'm not, down the leg. I've got knees close together. And then I'm going to take my right leg that I've crossed over my left leg, and I'm going to pull with that right leg, that left leg towards the earth. You can let that left foot arrive on the earth, but try to keep the left knee elevated. Take the left arm, reach it to the sky, and then reach it straight backwards. Cup the hands, and use that imaginary grapefruit to pull along that whole left side. You might have implications all the way down to and across the hip. Hopefully you get some of that experience. Keep the right leg pulling on the left and keep that left hand reaching back. And then keep that left arm reaching away as we dial the arm like the hand of a clock, moving it towards and away from the body, towards, in my case, the couch. Holding on this, and then keeping the arm pulling high to the sky. I'm going to take my left shoulder and rotate it down towards the earth. And now sweep the left arm backwards. And keep the left shoulder pulling towards the earth as I sweep the arm out about chest height, shoulder height, whatever you want to call it. And now that I have the shoulder anchored, I'm going to bring it back up. And then release this and switch up sides.
As I descend towards the left side, my right foot arrives upon the earth, my right arm reaches for the sky. My right knee is above the earth as my right arm sweeps backwards. I've cupped and I've pulled. And as I rotate with my left, I reach with my right, pulling long for that whole side body, enjoying that nice, effective. Why is it effective? Because we tend to shorten these chains of muscle when we sit. This helps to kind of broaden and open that experience so it functions better. Right arm, of course, sweeps like that arm of a clock, right about shoulder height, and then sweeps upward. Right shoulder rotates to the earth, right arm reaches back. Right arm reaches long as it dials. Right arm reaches up to the sky. As we uncross the legs and come back into our starting position, grab hands on kneecaps and rock and roll forward to back, pulling up to a seated position. Take that left leg and put a minor angle in it, just enough to kind of create a square between, or 90 degrees between left upper leg and the right leg in general. We're going to square, but we're going to make sure our sit bones are connected before we do so. So we find that square, we rotate the upper body, and we're going to simply walk out the right hand. You notice my left hand is relatively immobile. It's just a little bit of support. As I reach the right hand, it's really I'm walking it, and I'm feeling a nice opening along my left side as my right hand kind of walks parallel to the leg, holding out, spine long, neck long, folding in, chopping through that right hip to get a little more release on the right side. Inhale, extend to a flat back. And when you rise back up, switch up the sides. Same setup, opposite side. Sit bones connected, rotation through the shoulder carriage. And let the hands do the walking. Actually, keep the right hand planted. Almost like you have palm on the earth with a slight pull. It's not moving that right palm, but we're going to have the left fingers do the walking. And this is really, you should feel a nice, hopefully, right oblique, right backside, kind of middle center of the side of the body, somewhere around there. Chopping through the hips, seeing if you can kind of descend a little deeper into this. Inhaling, extending to a flat back, walking back the hands. Great job, we're almost done. Hard to imagine. I'm going to scoot back my hips, keeping my feet separated widely. As I draw down the body, I pull the knees back in, and I'm simply going to pull in the knees and then circle them outward together. And then keep that circle. I'm going to change my hand position to allow the knees to find a big circle, and allow them to go all the way down, almost where they angle in the hips about 90 degrees, a little greater. But after I've achieved that, pulling the knees together and then back up and into the chest, and then doing the circle one more time. Altering hands, opening wide, getting that nice opening as the knees come back together. This time, hands to kneecap, forehead up to meet knees, and then rock and roll all the way up to a seated position. Extend both legs out, angled, walk the hands in between, and begin to fold down. I can get my forearms down, that's not a brag, I'm just letting you know that if that's a possibility, get there. Some people can get their whole chest down, that is a brag. But if you find your version of what I'm doing, work on it. Hamstrings getting a nice pull, feel that pull. And walk back in, and without unfolding, we're going to grab
Hands over feet. If you need a towel, you can do 1 foot at a time. Round the toes to allow a nice stretch through the middle part of the foot. Maybe go up and into the back of the lower leg, where they're pulling through that gastroc calf muscle. Chest is proud, got a double. I can feel it. Maybe you do also all the way to the back part of the knee. Chest prouder, spine longer, chin pulls into the neck, intensifying that stretch, or actually pulling a little more. And then relaxing that, shaking out the legs. Bringing them to the cross, so I can bring my hands to my heart and thank you for joining us today. Namaste. All right. Hope you all have a great day. Happy Sunday, fun day.